Okay, here we go. Sue, you ready?
Ready, Freddie?
All right, here we go. Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Deborah Addy.
Here.
Brian Treppa.
Here.
Joanne Shirkey.
Here.
Dennis Szymanski.
Here.
Harold Bain. Not here. And Bonnie McInerney Slater, I am here. So we have 5 members.
All right, he's trying to sign in. I'm sending it to him right now.
Okay, well, we'll let him jump in before we start anything. Approval or amendments to tonight's agenda?
Motion to approve as presented.
Support.
So we have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that how we should do it on this?
That's fine.
Like 5 with us. If anyone's opposed to it, obviously speak up. Approval of minutes from the last meeting on, sorry, shuffling. July 15th, 2020.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the July 15th meeting.
I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion and a motion and a second to approve the minutes of last meeting. All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
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 All right, so zoning board of appeals preface.
Hold on 1 second. Harold, are you on the iPhone?
I'm on the iPhone, I think.
So there's at the bottom of the screen, it just says iPhone.
I'm here.
Is this Harold?
No.
Oh, who is on the iPhone?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dave Mason.
Okay, thank you.
And another one, Tom Purcell.
Okay, I'm going to read my preface. Is that okay?
Yep.
Anyone else jumping in? All right, so the Clay Township Zoning Board of Appeals, or the ZBA, primarily addresses practical difficulty based on lot size, location, shape or contour and or location of existing buildings. We are guided by section 27.05 of ordinance number 126. There are 5 members on the ZBA, all of whom are present tonight. At least 3 members must vote affirmatively for a motion to grant a variance. 3 members constitute a quorum. Each appeal before the ZBA will have a public hearing at which time the applicant will first present his or her case and any public comment regarding that issue will follow. During this time, members of the board may ask questions of clarification. If a particular point gets belabored, the chairperson has the right to limit comments. When the public hearing is closed, the board will move on to deliberation of the particular variance request. If the applicant should disagree with the board's decision, he or she has the right to take it to circuit court within 30 days of the decision. When your hearing appeal is concluded, you can, I guess, hang up if you wish. Okay, so we're going to go to new business. J, ZBA 202-007 at 7202 Cardinal. Is the representative for that case present? Is anyone here for the Cardinal residents?
Harold just joined.
I can't see him on there. All right, we're going to go to.
Hello.
Hi, Harold.
Hi. I
Hold on, somebody's coming in right now.
About a packet.
Jeez.
Brian, somebody else just popped in.
Okay. I mean, I was going to put it to the back burner and just see if they came on in a little bit. Are you on? You're not here.
The owner's on.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello? Are you guys for Cardinal?
Yes.
Okay, can you please state your name, your address, and state your case on your address?
Go ahead.
Robert Savinsky, 7202 Cardinal, Clay Township 48001. Case is to put up a shed on our property, and we're not sure exactly where to put it or where we can put it. We only have a 1-car garage, and we need more places to put tools, lawnmowers, and outside equipment.
And we took the house with some vinyl sheds and we want to remove them and put up a nice structure.
Hello?
We lost you.
Oh, hey.
There you are. Okay, is that all you'd like to say right now?
Yeah, we need to find out if it's necessary, though. We have a neighbor that already has a shut up on his property. Is there a requirement that we have to follow to put a shut up if our neighbor already blocking our view? I mean, we don't care about it, but we thought that maybe the guy that came out and looked at the property kind of made a comment about that. Well, you already got a neighbor with a shut up. Why are you needing a
Well, this
permit?
one says that you have 2 sheds that you want to remove and put 1 up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other shed may have been pre this zoning ordinance or something along those lines
Right.
also.
Oh,
Okay,
We purchased the house and the 2 sheds were here.
Right.
They're plastic sheds,
yeah, we didn't put them up.
but we don't have no room to take them down right now and put all our stuff out on the lawn right now to build a shed. So I don't know what's going on with we're just asking if we can build a shed, I guess, what I'm trying to say. We only got a 1-car garage and we don't have no room.
okay.
There it is. It's a little bit of a lag here because I can't
So
talk
we're
back.
gonna have to go slow on this. So is there any other, we're gonna go deliberation on this one with you, okay? Is there anyone that, I'm gonna open up the public comment. Is there anyone else in the crowd that wants to speak on the Cardinal address? Okay, we'll close public comment. All right, you guys, I just gotta stand up and close my window. If you guys wanna start talking, I can still listen, because I can hear a
To
lot.
say Gary is on the line, do we want him to address this one?
I'd like to hear him.
Yeah, I'm here if you can hear me.
Yep.
We hear you. Don't
We
see
can't
you.
see you, Gary.
Yeah, you know, this is a shed that they want to put in the area of the yard that's, you know, supposed to be open for view of the water. And so that's the problem with the shed in the location, is that it's going to be in the unobstructed yard space.
Well, I was told by Cindy Babbage that the only space you get to look at is in front of your house. I asked her that when we moved in here 4 years ago, but I'm just throwing that in as a comment. So everybody's got sheds that are obstructing people around here. Our neighbor put one in. He didn't even pull a permit, put it right on our property line, and he had to move it.
Gary, is there anywhere on this property they could put it?
It's kind of difficult if they want to tuck it back where the 2 sheds are now. The only problem with that is they're right up against the house. And, you know, we might have to allow for them to be closer than the 10-foot between the dwelling and the shed. But if they tucked it into that area, it would be least invasive and perhaps allow them to have their shed, but not out there in the middle of the yard or someplace that it would be obscuring the view.
So people that have put them up, I'm just asking this nicely, and didn't pull permits, they don't get fined or anything. They can just obstruct views and put sheds up. Because this guy, when he had to move his shed, was never told that he was obstructing our view. He was told to get it off our property line by 3 feet. But he is obstructing our view. So I don't understand the double standard.
Did the code enforcer tell him to do that?
Code enforcement made a move 3 feet off our property line, but he never told them that he didn't pull a permit and he's obstructing our view.
Do you know for a fact that he didn't pull a permit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but again, what the neighbor did really doesn't apply to what they're doing.
So
here.
Gary, I have a question for you, Gary. It's Brian Truppa. I don't know, because I can't see you, Gary. Hey, we built a garage on Cardinal before in the backyard. When did we change this rule to where we can't have anything in the backyard? And the second thing is we allow boathouses in the backyard. I'm not saying we would allow a boathouse on Cardinal, but how do we address this?
Yeah. You know, as far as I know, I don't know when this was adopted. I've got the book in front of me. I'm looking to see. Looks like in 2018, accessory buildings were there was a revision in 2018. There is an exemption for boathouses. So the exemption is boathouses.
Okay. All right. So you guys did, I mean, it was changed in 18. It was, you know, we built that, you know, well before 18. So, okay. I wanted to make sure that we had that. Okay.
Well, what's the space between, if you tuck it under by the house, how far would that, how close would it have to be?
Well, what the ordinance says, it has to be 10 feet away from the main dwelling.
I was told if we did it. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just saying that could be, you know, an area that you could allow it to be closer, even as close as 3 feet in that location if you wanted to, as long as we don't have any issues with things kept in the shed that could possibly burn and get to the house. And that's kind of the reason for the 10-foot rule, is to have that separation. But if they wanted to put it in that location, because it's kind of cut back in from the back of, I don't know if it's a family room or something on the back of the house, it would tuck it in away from that area. And quite frankly, with the location of the neighbor's shed, it wouldn't create any hardship for him because his own shed would be in his way. So, I mean, that might be a good...
We're not worried about him. He said he already blocked our view. I'm sorry.
Has anybody, excuse me, has anybody been over there and inspected this? I mean, besides myself?
There's a gentleman that was here a week ago.
That was me.
Oh,
I'm asking the other zoning board members, has anybody been over there to look at this?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so you guys all saw the line of arborvitaes, and you all saw the shed way past out. And let's keep in mind that this is a canal. You're not entitled to a view from your right or left. We're only entitled to a view straight out.
Yeah, whatever your frontage is.
This is not lakefront property. So we need to keep that in mind about the rear yard setback. So, I mean, I went there and checked it all out, and from what we have agreed upon and what we have said in the past, this shouldn't be an issue, you know, and I'm trying to find out where the setback is here right now in the book here, and I just cannot seem to.
But wouldn't this be an issue that should be addressed by Planning Commission?
We already have it in here. We already in our book. In this revised thing. Let me just find the page where it says.
Dennis, let me ask you a question. Gary, what is our rear yard setback on Cardinal?
And R1 is 40 feet.
Yep.
So this shed it appears to be 40 feet off of it. So why would it not be allowed?
Because of the unobstructed view in our ordinance that doesn't specify whether it's a canal. It says boatable water. Boatable waterway is how the ordinance is written.
Okay.
Yeah, we've already changed that, addressed that a couple of years ago.
I'm looking at the book right now, sir.
Years ago.
Yeah, well, a year and a half ago, whatever it was, we changed what the definition of
front yard setback,
rear yard setback.
Rear yard. Hey, Gary, what ordinance was that?
So
what's the number?
The way.
It's section 3.01.
Page 47.
Can you repeat that section, please? You all got jumbled.
Sorry, 3.11.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it basically goes in there to the second line, a minimum of 40 feet back of a sight line. So this shed is well in the means of having this being where they're asking it for it to be.
But for the
required
conflict with
shoreline
the,
setback should be a minimum of 40 feet in the R1 district, 55 in R2, 45 in R3.
but for the language that says they can't have anything in the rear required yard space.
It says lake, river, or canal lots. Those residential lots and or parcels having one lot line abutting or extending to the water of an opposite lot line abutting a public thoroughfare shall maintain the required yard on the water side as an open and unobstructed yard, except that a covered and uncovered boat well should be permitted. This required shoreline setback shall be a minimum of 40 feet. So basically, after 40 feet, it's all game on. It's just like the whole thing about the trees,
Exactly.
the shrubs.
Measure 40 feet from the seawall and go with it.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I guess to me then this is less of a variance and more of a zoning interpretation at this point.
Well, we've already been down this road.
With you.
We've already covered this. We've already been down this road and covered this.
That's what I'm saying. I think if you look at the ordinance, we're making an interpretation, because if you take the ordinance as it's being interpreted by this township, then there isn't really means for a hardship because there's really no practical difficulty, et cetera, et cetera. But
Right.
if we're interpreting the zoning ordinance to mean that 40-foot setback and that you can have something back there, I think that's different.
Well, this was amended January 5th of 2015. We did this. We were all on the board at that time. And we have gone through this, and we went through, remember a few years back about the trees and shrubs and everything after that?
Yeah, I thought that's what we.
Right, because you can't.
So I'm
have
wondering
an
if something just didn't get removed.
Well, it's again, if you read 3.11, in Lake, River, and Canal Lot, it says right there, plain English. You know, it's not, so.
I guess what I'm saying is the ordinance is in conflict with itself.
Well, I don't know where he was reading where the thing is said about
I don't see the conflict because I see 40 feet off the seawall, they can do anything they want.
right, exactly.
Because their unobstructed view is the 40 foot off the seawall.
That's kind of where I'm at with
I guess that interpretation, I can understand that because it does say you can't have it in the required yard space on a boatable waterway. So the required yard space is the 40 feet. So I
Right.
guess I can see
Right,
that.
minimum of 40 feet. So anything 40 foot in closer to the house is 100% acceptable. So, you know,
But
I
it's
would
still
make the
maintain that
motion.
10 feet though, Dennis.
Huh?
We still have to say that it still has to maintain that 10 feet if it's going to be detached.
Well,
Which
it's
you can
about-
according to their drawing.
Right. Oh, their drawings are right on the money. That's
It's
what I'm
28
saying.
feet from the house at the drawing, 14 from the corner. It's 40 feet off the line, 50
No,
feet off
I
one
understand all
side.
that. They're saying that we can't just say because it's 40 feet. You know, we have to make sure that, you know, it still maintains that 10 feet too. You can't just say it can go
Okay.
anywhere you want after
All right.
that.
So my motion would to be is to prove it at how it was originally written, you know, on 3.11 as amended January 5th, 2015, that they obtain or maintain the 40-foot yard setback, but also maintain the minimum of a 10-foot clearance away from the house and a minimum of 3 foot off the property sideline.
Okay, he's fine.
Now, hang on. Before we say yes to this or no to this, Dennis, on your articles on page 3.1, whatever, section 3.01, at the very top, what does it tell you? Accessory buildings, structures, and uses. What is your wording after that?
Amended June 17th, 2015.
Okay, so mine says amended through December 24th, 2018. And I am not seeing the verbiage that you're reading. That's why I'm quiet over here. I read it 3 times. And
It's on page 47.
It's 3.11.
On
Yeah,
page
it's-
47.
It says supplementary
Supplementary setback provisions.
I mean, we've all gotten different cover pages and stuff like that, but I mean, everything that she's ever given us has been put into the book. So hang on a second. Let me look at the one thing you were saying. That's all officers.
Bonnie, read this.
You want me to read it on Zoom?
I know, I'm sorry.
I don't have my book right in front of me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do we not all have the updated version, or is I the only one that got it?
Can you
You
read
must
what
be
it
the only one
says?
because mine isn't
Mine
updated.
says no detached accessory building shall be located closer than 10 feet of the main building. And this is 3.01-1,
Okay.
okay?
Right.
On waterfront lots where compliance with the requirement will render non-compliance with other waterfront setback requirements. That's exact words. On waterfront lots where compliance with this requirement will render non-compliance with other waterfront setback requirements. And that's exact wording. I'm trying to.
All right, well, go back to the first sentence again. Say that again now.
No detached accessory building shall be closer than 10 feet to any main building.
Okay, well, but we already are going to be at a minimum of 10 or more. It's not going to be
Right.
anything.
What I'm saying is I have different paperwork than you have, Dennis.
Yeah, but that
No,
part
I
there,
don't think you do.
that doesn't have,
No,
that
you
doesn't
don't.
have any.
I think
No,
you
you
guys are
don't.
reading two different ordinances.
It
Yes.
doesn't have, that part there does not have any variant or thing here. We're saying about the rear yard setback, but like I said, I just said we're going to keep it. Any accessory building, unless it's all drywall 5/8, can be no closer than 10 feet.
No,
So-
Brian, we're looking
so-
at 3.11.
Yeah.
Well,
The supplementary
hang on.
setback provisions.
My bad, my bad.
3.01.1 is what was noticed. And 3.11.
On page 47.
Chairman Treppa, could I say something?
Who are you?
Gary?
Gary.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Gary, yeah.
3.11 was designed for that 45. It was mainly for when we have a new build in an existing neighborhood, and this is new house construction, is really the purpose of 3.11. And that was to make sure that no one, went to the 40-foot when all the other houses in that particular area might have been at 50 or 60 feet from the waterway. The straight line setback, which is what 3.11 is, was to keep all those houses in line. That was the purpose of 3.11.
But if she built this house right now, Gary, she can go back to 40 feet.
If they rebuilt that house right now on the same lot, and I don't know what the house lined up there, but it would have to be lined up with the other houses on the street, at least to the houses on either side.
Okay, so you guys, now I'm on point 3.11. My revision is August 3rd, 2019.
Yeah, well, apparently you're the only one who got any updates, so.
Yeah.
I don't have that update.
I have the what's online version I'm reading right now. 3.01 says no detached accessory building shall be located closer than 10 feet to any main building. On waterfront lots where compliance with this requirement will render non-compliance with other waterfront setbacks, the building inspector and pre-site plan review committee by unanimous consent may reduce the 10-foot spacing. Oh, that's different.
Okay, so you guys, so what this one says, the minimum yard setback shall be established by rendering a straight line between adjacent principal structures. Okay?
Right.
And this
Not a
is
shed.
this is 3.11.
Right.
So
if you keep
reading,
reading,
mine doesn't say anything about 40 feet though.
if you
Yours
go
doesn't?
through and read all of 3.01, and it says everything on here. It does not say that you cannot have a rear detached building in your rear yard. And then so then we go on to, you start reading through here, and it jumps all the way to 3.11 where it goes into the accessory building. Okay, so where's all the other things here to say that you can't have all this? So, I mean, I respect what Gary just said, but the way we're interpreting and what we're reading here in line, going to this, that it's not spelled out that way. And, you know, I don't know.
Okay, so the 3.11, you guys need to we need to everybody be on the same page with amended August 3rd, 2019. Okay, so that's what my current one is, and I'm sure that's the one Gary's reading because that's where he's pulling it from. As far as the other one, Bonnie, the one you were reading, you know, that's what I have for the 3.01.
Right.
And that's the one that is applicable to this one because it's the accessory buildings.
Right.
Brian, mine is the same as yours.
Okay, so you got the updated one.
Yes.
So Dennis, you know what I mean? I want to make sure that you understand that, you know.
Well, take a picture.
It is a requirement on new construction that they can't go within 40 feet or
right.
line. That's for, you know what I mean? So as far as an accessory building, you know, all I'm reading is you can't go within 10 feet, and obviously you have to require all setbacks.
All right.
What about the side yard
Shot
setback?
that picture and send it to me real fast?
What do you mean, Dennis?
Take a picture on your phone and just text it to me, so I can see it. What you're 301, that page you're referring to.
The revised page.
Or otherwise, we curve this so everybody has the right stuff, so we can get a better interpretation. Because now we're looking.
Could I ask a few questions?
Public hearing's over with, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, if it's over, were we supposed to still be on the phone?
Yeah, you want to stay till it's this is all over with.
I mean, we can ask some questions still. I mean,
I'd like to ask a few.
You can ask me a question. Go ahead. Dennis,
if I build a shed and I don't go past his shed right now, what kind of view am I going to be blocking from him? I don't understand it.
The view. It's not about the view. It's not about the view.
Okay, so there's another way we can tackle this too. I could put up a steel shed, which would probably be easier to put up because that's what we do at work. And it won't be no, it's going to be a fire retardant shed. So there's a lot of options here. I could put steel sheeting on the outside like you see on every other shed or on the roofs of houses.
Yeah, but right now we're not asking you to do anything right now. We're just trying to clarify the setbacks and then you need all the setback rules.
Okay.
That's can we? I honestly, I really like to read the whole section of 3.01 all the way through in real things because I like to see 0.3.01. I would say that we should maybe table this till we all get all the proper paperwork because.
Okay, so hang on a second, Dennis, before you say that. Gary, in
Yes,
this,
sir.
are you still on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the paper we wrote 3.01-1.
which is not accurate.
Gary, which one are you going off of for us? I mean, I understand the two shed thing. I'm not worried about the two shed as long as they remove both sheds and build one shed. I just want to know the unobstructed, where you're getting that requirement. If it's, where are you reading it to where we all have that exact paperwork? Because I should have the most up-to-date one, and I'm sorry that I just automatically assumed that everyone had it.
I'm online and I'm questioning the same thing.
Gary,
Okay.
can you just tell me what page, just so I can make sure I have the right verbiage, so maybe I can clarify it to everybody?
Right. And like I said, I think I'm with you in the fact that if we're not in a required side yard and
What's he looking for?
I'm looking for the verbiage where it talks about unobstructed yard space.
It's in 3.11. It looks like there's two situations.
But again, doesn't 3.11 address primary structures?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's totally
Right.
There's got to be a different revision somewhere in this in a whole new section of 3.01 till it ends. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
3.011 is not addressing this at all, which makes me think it might have been noticed wrong.
That's what I'm getting at, that it's not, the numbers aren't working out.
I kind of agree that we should table this for a month.
Till we all get on the same page.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll make a motion to table.
I'll support.
I second it.
Okay, so we have a motion to table it till we get further information, and all of us have update information. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, you have to do a roll call.
Oh, roll call, sorry.
Deborah, Eddie.
Am I voting? Because
Oh wait, no, you're not, because Harold's here.
I didn't think so. Okay.
Joanne Shirkey,
Yes.
Dennis Schmansky,
Yes.
Harold Bain,
Yes.
Bonnie McInerney Slater, yes. Brian Treppa.
Yes. So clients at Cardinal, we're going to table this, obviously, until we all have the current information. I'll get with Gary and make sure that we interpret it the right way. I'm sorry, you'll have to wait one more month. Is that okay? I mean, there's really no option right now.
Or work with the building official in the meantime and come up with a plan that you don't need a variance for.
How do you do that?
Pardon?
How do you do that?
You would have to meet with Gary from the building department.
Oh, well, we can do that. We can wait for you, but if we can meet with Gary, that would be great.
Yeah, if you could set up a meeting, call Cindy, and set up a meeting with Gary, and then maybe you guys can work it all out. And if not, then see you at the next meeting. You won't have to pay again, but you know what I mean? We'll see you at the next meeting. We'll have all the information, and any information that we get will be sent to you as well. Okay?
All right.
All right. Just right now, we have some conflict right now, and it's not fair to you or us is making decisions. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Super. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Are you okay to keep going? Bonnie?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm good. We don't have everybody signing at this time, so all I had to do was put motion to table.
You wanna? Okay. So you're good to?
Yep. I'm good to go on.
Okay. So we're gonna jump to the next business at ZBA 2020-010 at 775 Lake. It just says Lake. I don't know if it's Drive or Court, but is anyone from that property present?
Yeah, yes. The Barclays.
Can you state your name and your address, please?
Laura Barkley, 7775 Lake Drive.
Laura Barkley, 7775 Lake Drive.
Okay, can you state the reasonings, the variance reasonings, please?
We purchased the double lot with a garage. We were told we were grandfathered in, and we started to renovate it starting in March. Actually, May we started, and then we were stopped in June. The inspector stopped construction on it. We bought it last September, and then we didn't even go to it, till the weather broke in March. And then we were content with just having the garage on the double lot, not knowing that we were supposed to tear it down or build a house, one or the other, but we started to renovate it. And now we were told that either it has to get torn down or 1,000 square foot home needs to be placed on it. But we were content with it as is.
Previous.
So what happened is I'm sorry to overspeak it. So are you set with what you're saying then?
Well, I was going to say the previous person who had the property was able to pull 3 permits from what your inspector told me. And he told us it should have been torn down in 2000.
So we purchased something with a garage that's been there for 19 years as is. So we started to renovate it, and then they put a stop to it back in early June. So we've been waiting for 2 months to have this meeting to see where we stand.
Okay. All right, I'm going to open it up to public. Anyone else that want to speak on this 775 Lake case? There's one other person. There is one other person. Do we have any correspondence on this one? We had one.
There's a ton of it.
This one.
Did we have correspondence on this one?
Okay, go ahead, sir. Please state your name and address.
This is Keith Stein. My address is 7889 Stark Drive, and I represent several of the people on Stark Drive who have noticed this property going up. And we find the request for the variance to be very objectionable because the property is non-conforming. It's, as you were just talking about with the earlier property, it's too close to the seawall. The existing structure, the previously existing structure was torn down, completely torn down, and a new structure was put up that's non-conforming, that has no electricity to my knowledge, has no plumbing to my knowledge. And basically the owners are using that property as we speak, as you would a tent in a campground.
May I speak one more time?
Not
He
yet.
lost it in a land contract. I'm pretty sure he's the one that lost it in a land contract.
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That is not true, but nice try.
Okay.
All right, is there anyone else speaking in regards to this?
We're not using
77 Lake Drive. 775, sorry, Lake Drive. I'm going to close public comments.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh,
yeah, Matt Kowalski, 7897 Lake Drive.
Okay.
I did submit some correspondence that you should have in front of you with 3 points. They told me that was going to the record.
There should be a lot of correspondence.
There is. It was all emailed to us.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on email? Okay, hang on one second.
It's all
There was other
emailed.
correspondence given to Cindy Babbage as well.
Okay, hang on, let me check my email. I thought there was one on one of these.
That's funny.
Hold on.
There's petition signatures. There's people who want this to be.
Okay, there it is.
There's pictures. There's pictures.
Yep,
There's a lot of pictures.
Yep, I got the picture. Okay, so Bonnie, do you have that email? Can you read that?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Okay, that's the pictures.
And just read the correspondence from what, 5 people?
Give me a minute.
Or not correspondence, just.
For the record, I'm on board still. Dave Mason.
Okay.
You have public comment?
Not yet.
All right, Bonnie, do you have that?
Hold on.
Nice try.
Yeah, I think I need reading glasses.
I'm to that point myself.
This is not good. I'm trying to zoom it.
Public comments closed now?
No, I have to read them.
Oh, we have a letter that we're reading.
I have a few things I would like to talk about. When
I have the,
when it's my turn.
Hang on.
I have all the hard copies of everything that Cindy sent out.
Okay, do you want to read them?
Okay, we can start out with Matthew Kowalski here. Dear Zoning Board of Appeals regarding ZBA 2020-10-7775 Lake Drive, August 19, 2019, or 20, excuse me. I have some concerns about the property in question. There is a garage and a fire pit with a boat docked in that yard. There does not seem to be a toilet facility on the properties. This is a concern. The garage was torn down this past year and rebuilt without permits. There's a few photos attached. My concern is the permitting and zoning laws and regulation in Clay Township. The state said I have 3 vacant lots across the street from me. And if the board approves this, what would stop lot owners from constructing storage buildings with no home on the lot? I also have a vacant lot next door to me with the garage that's been falling for 30 plus years. That would stop. What would stop that lot owner from removing that garage and building a new one once precedent is set on Lake Drive? That permits are no longer needed on vacant lots and storage buildings without a home being present. Then I have, and that was signed Matthew Kowalski 7897 Lake Drive, Clay Michigan. Then I have another pictures that picked up today of the old and then the new. And this one says that we, the undersigned below, support the request for variance for Clay Township Zoning Board by Leonard and Laura Barkley. The request for the improvement of this accessory building garage, we believe will better our neighborhood and increase our property values. And they have 5 different addresses on here with multiple names on it, but Larry J. Rowe at 7796 Lake, Bob and Carol Reintz, 7789, Sam and Shelley Anderson, 7761, Craig and Carrie Baker at 7487, and Kimberly Hosner at 7785. Then I have,
Dennis.
Then I have 3 or 4 more here that says to the may concern the undersigned below oppose the non-residential construction located at 77 Lake Drive. We feel the construction would lower the property value of the surrounding properties. You got, again, there's multiple names at each address, you know, husband and wife. But you have Tom and Cynthia Wagner at 7778 opposed. Sherry and John at 7803 Stark. Mr. Hill at 7856 Lake. Ms. Tizio at 7848 Stark. Just try to do with the names I can read or understand. Dave and Diane Mason at 7821 Inglewood. Karen Adam at 7840 Inglewood. Barb Krasinski at 7839 Inglewood. Miss Hill at 7856 Lake. Somebody at 7848 Lake Drive. I can't make out first. Karen is the first name. And then there's a few more. A newer dates, of course, is saying the same things. Mr. Stein at 7887 Stark. Tom and Beth Eugene or Uigi at 7916 Stark. We have 7911 Stark, 7935 Stark, 7861 Stark. They're all names that were just signed. And then there's a letter here to whom may concern. A few years ago that this non-conforming building was deemed as a dangerous building and was supposed to be removed. We've been trying to get this desirable double lot cleaned up for years.
Did you get any more letters, Dennis? Is that all of them?
Seems to be.
Dennis seems to have disappeared.
Yeah, because I didn't get any of those letters. Did you guys, Bonnie?
I got it in email. I just forgot to print them.
I got them all. I got them all.
Did you? Okay, good.
Should all
I
have
only got one email that with the 5 signatures. Is there anyone else on here?
Hold on one second. We lost Harold.
Nope,
Or, I'm sorry,
here.
Dennis.
All right, Dennis will call back. Is there anyone else that was not mentioned in any letters want to state any information on this 775 Lake Drive?
Hello.
You back,
This is
Dennis?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, this is Tom Purcell, 7882 Lake Drive.
Okay.
The gentleman was reading our letter and he got cut off. He didn't finish it. I got another comment, but it's basically the same thing what he was going to read.
Could you finish it? Because we lost him.
Yeah, this is something similar. It says, we have been trying for years to get this lot cleaned up. We've talked to the building department and township supervisor. We submitted documentation showing such. When the house burned down a few years ago, I feel this garage became a non-conforming situation. It sat for many years, fell in major disrepair. There's many documents showing where the roof fell and everything. A few years back, the township deemed the building dangerous and was supposed to come down. Article 3, Section 3.23, number 4C and 4D specifically address that. I can read it, but it's too much. I do not want this to turn into a campsite with a porta-john or a short-term rental. Sure, they can say it looks better than what it does or what it did when it was there, but it doesn't make it right. If you allow this to stay, we're stuck with it. It'll be there forever. This neighborhood is R1, one family residential district. The purpose of the R1, one family district is to provide a stable and sound environment. Our homes are our largest investment, and I hope the zoning board will help protect that. By allowing this variance, it would be detrimental to the property values of the neighbors. I feel this request should be denied.
Thank you.
All right. Is Dennis back on?
Dennis just texted me and said his battery's died. So let him charging it back up.
That's a problem
Do
for us
some
to keep
homework.
deliberating.
Right. Well, yeah. Hang on, here he is. Be back in a couple minutes, he just said. Okay, so is there anyone else on this?
Brian,
I
really think until he gets back on, we need to take a little break.
That's fine. That's fine.
You want some music?
No.
No. Actually, while we're waiting, I'm going to step away for 1 second.
Don't take the video with you.
I just told him we're waiting on him. Gary, are you still on?
Yes, I am, sir.
Gary, do you know of any documentation that we were supposed to tear this building down, or a letter was sent that this building was supposed to be torn down? And I don't want to get too far ahead. Right now my brain is racing with this.
I looked for such documentation. This fire, I believe, was in 2001. And that's about the time that we went on to computer here. I didn't see anything at the time, but what happens occasionally, and even now, is that when you have a house fire, in most cases, the house is rebuilt, which at the time, I guess, the garage may have been in decent shape. And maybe it was allowed to stay by a previous administrator with the idea that a main dwelling would be rebuilt, once it was cleaned up. But I couldn't find any documents on that on the computer, nor in the file. But I do know that this did fall into disrepair over the years, and it was slated as a dangerous building, and it should have come down for sure. One thing for certain, though, is that the garage. The old garage was removed almost in its entirety and reconstructed, without any permits or any questions or anything. But our ordinance is...
Okay, hang on, Gary. Hang on. Bonnie's going to kill me if she didn't hear all that. I tried to stop you mid-sentence, but I just wanted to see if we had a letter. You might have to restate all that because Bonnie's going to want to hear that. In all fairness, Dennis is going to need to hear that too. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's why I thought we should wait a minute.
I like where he was going.
I do too, but everybody needs to hear the same info.
Okay, he's coming back in.
Okay. So I'll redo the whole thing as soon as he punches in, as soon as you tell me he's on. I'll re-ask the question, Gary.
He's on.
Yeah, my computer laptop only gives me an hour battery. I didn't know that.
All right, Dennis, so we had we had a person that came on and he finished your letter.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
All right, so we had a little break until you came back. And I posed a question to Gary, the building inspector, and I said, Gary, because one of the letters, one of the gentlemen stated that it was supposed to come down, and I asked Gary if we found any documentation of a letter or something that was supposed to be torn down, and then Gary definitely had good information, but I had to stop him short. So I'm going to ask Gary if he could repeat everything that he said when Bonnie and Dennis, you were gone. So Gary, my question was there a letter for this building to be torn down?
Well, the answer to that question is no. But there was, it was or is on our dangerous buildings list. So there may have been some correspondence put out in the past. I didn't see any of that. The question that you had posed to me earlier, Mr. Treppa, was
try to do the early one.
Was whether or not this accessory structure, and I had told would have existed since the fire, and in a lot of cases, and I couldn't find any documents on it, but in a lot of cases when we have a house fire, and even today, if the accessory structure is in good shape and the plan is to rebuild, we can allow for that accessory structure to remain. But in this case, obviously there was no structure rebuilt, and the ordinance is clear that it is an accessory structure. It's an accessory to a main structure, and we have no main structure here. So should it have been removed after, back after the fire, after it was realized they weren't rebuilding? I would say absolutely yes, it should have been removed at that time.
Can I ask a question for clarification also? They keep saying that they're doing a repair. This was a total tear down and rebuild, correct?
I would say 90% of the building was taken down. There's a little lean-to that remained. I believe, when I was there last, that is still remaining. But yeah, as far as the four walls and the roof, brand new.
Right, but over the 60% threshold for repair of a non-conforming.
Way over, yes. Yeah, we're probably at the 90% range.
Okay. And did I understand correctly, there were no permits pulled for this at all?
That is correct. No permits, no conversation, nothing before we put a stop work order on it.
No survey? We received no survey of the property?
We haven't received anything.
Okay, hold up one second, guys. All right, is there anyone else that would like to speak on this? I want to close.
Yeah, I'd like to speak on this. My name is Mike Tessmer. I'd like to speak.
Okay.
My name is Mike Tessmer. I live at 7841 Lake Drive, and I am a licensed builder for the state of Michigan. And this building was tore down without a demolition permit. A new construction was put up with no permit. It's non-conforming, and it should not be there. I want it removed.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on this 775 Lake Drive? I'm going to close public comments. Okay. Gary, so no footing inspection. So they just put it up on old structure or old bones, or, I mean, no inspections at all, that you've never been inside this building?
No, just peek through the window when I put on the stop work. But it does look like I don't know if there is a footing involved with this at all, but it is on the old slab.
Okay. Joanne, you said before Dennis was left that you said you wanted to speak. Is this a good time for you?
Yes, here are some of the concerns I have. There's no survey. There was no building permits. They said it was grandfathered. I'd like to know who told them it was grandfathered. What does that mean? This building has quite a history. Over 20 years trying to get this thing demolished. And 20 years is long enough to try to build a house. And now they're saying that in a couple years, they're going to build a house. Well, they didn't do it. The owners throughout the years didn't do it 20 years. What does 2 years mean? And there's no toilet facilities. There's such a history concerning this property that I don't see how we could okay the variance on this. Three possible ways to go: postpone, deny, or tear it down.
I think we almost have to deny it. It is self-created. There's
Yes.
no practical difficulty that would allow for it. Had they kept the existing structure and modified it slightly with building permits, I think that would have been a different story that we'd be talking about right now.
Can I add one thing? Didn't these people just buy this? When do the people buy this?
It doesn't matter, Dennis. It doesn't.
Well, I know, but your point, you said 20 years and they just bought it a year ago or 2 years ago.
We bought it in September.
I'm talking about, Dennis, listen to what I said. I'm talking about the history of this whole property, not their history of buying it and purchasing it.
No, I know, but I was just saying is well, so let me ask a hypothetical question here. If we were to say deny it, what would happen? What would be the next step? What would be the next protocol, I guess?
Tear it down, go get the proper building permits, get a survey, do things the right way, and bring it back.
They would have to agree to put a house on it.
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
I don't know. I work for New Baltimore, and we have done this a time or two where something happened to the house, the garage existed, but we had them put up a bond or something to allow them a year to put up a house or something along those lines. Do we have that ability here?
I'm sure.
Well, what we have here in Clay is that, we don't issue an accessory building without a main building. We don't issue that permit until the permit has been issued for main building.
Okay.
We certainly don't do any inspections of the accessory until the rough building inspections have been done on the main building.
I was referring more to a situation like this where the house got torn down or it burned down, but the garage remained. You said that there have been times where you give them so much time to be able to put up a house, right?
Yeah, the time frame is the length of the building permit. And that's 180 days, that's 6 months. So you have 6 months
extension possible
to start the process, or it can't be there. I mean, it's clear in the ordinance that it has to be removed.
So they basically just need to file for a permit for a house, wherever they decide with the normal paperwork, the flood elevation certificate, the soil erosion permits and whatnot, and it's a closed case as far as the garage is concerned.
I think that's not accurate because there were no permits, no inspections.
No, if they do all that. But if they do all that.
But how can Gary go back and inspect the footings at this point?
And it doesn't mean that the footings are in the right spot and it's not up to code. They did change over 50%. The whole structure needs to be up to code. Or they have the choice to go in front of the ZBA again after that new house would be past rough inspection phase. If I've just read Gary's statement correct. Meaning, they have to pull a permit on a brand new house, have everything, again, surveyed, all the setbacks required to current circumstances. And then after they pass rough inspections for the building, then he would address the accessory building. So right now, I don't see where we can accept a building that's, you know, been basically tore down and rebuilt, and we have no idea where it sits on the property. I mean, we couldn't even give them, you know, leeway that it could even be, even if they did build a new house, if it would be in the right spot.
You got to have a site plan.
Correct.
Right.
Brian, well said. What you just said was well said.
I mean, and as far as the grandfather, you know, we've heard this for many, many years. There is no such rule, and there never was a grandfather clause. That's the good old boy network laid before we had rules that, oh, you know, you're allowed to do certain things. Unfortunately, it never pans out when someone or a neighbor says it's grandfathered in. It's not. You can't just go and build a new structure because everybody in the world would do it, especially on a, you know, a nice, you know, waterfront lot. So
well, the state of Michigan doesn't even recognize grandfather clauses.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't even, you know, everyone throws it at us like we're supposed to bow down to a grandfather clause.
Basically, what they've done is expand a non-conforming. We do have non-conforming. We don't have grandfather.
Correct.
Right.
But in this case, I do believe it should have been tore down when the house was not re-permitted to build after the fire, and it's kind of disheartening. And that's what I'm hoping that, you know, with Gary and the new administration that we got going right now, that some of these problems will go away quickly. And Gary's been doing a good job of doing that. It's just that this is a situation through the years that the neighbors have had to deal with, and I'm not sympathizing with anybody right now, but it should have been dealt with a long time ago, not when the new homeowners want to, you know, create a new structure. Unfortunately, they did it the wrong way, and I don't see any way we could approve anything, period.
Can I make a motion?
Yes, I was just going to go ahead, Bonnie.
You can go ahead, Joanne.
I'd like to make a motion that the owners of the property see the building administrator and begin to get a permit to build a new home and start from.
If I could, Joanne, I don't think that really, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we need to deny their variance, and that can be our advice to them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right, granted, yeah.
We need to.
I would make a motion to deny the variance.
Based on?
No practical difficulty and all the rest of the items in the 5 points.
That it was self-created, et cetera, et cetera.
Self-created, yes, yes.
I would second that based on our conversations.
Okay, so we have a motion to deny and a second. All in favor, or?
No.
Yeah, all in favor, or
no.
Let's do a roll call.
No, have a roll call.
Dennis Schmansky?
No. Or denying it, yes.
Yes, deny. Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Harold Bain?
Yes.
Bonnie McInerney Slater, yes. Brian Treppa?
Yes.
All right, give me 1 second.
Hang on. In that, before we did that, we're going to throw it back at Gary on this one. I mean, do we have any right or rule to put a time frame on this so it doesn't sit?
Yes. I would say that we do. You know, we can have the conversation about, you know, putting a house on it. And if they go through that process and get the permit for a house, it has to break ground. A permit by state rule is only good for 180 days. So ground would have to be broken within 6 months of the new house. Or our ordinance 301.12D states that if the construction you know, isn't started prior and the building permit expires, that the building has to be removed, the accessory building has to be removed within 30 days. And that's pretty clear on our ordinance. So we could put a time frame, you could put a time frame that they need to either obtain a permit for at least a 1,000 square foot building or remove the structure. And with our ordinance, I mean, it would be something that could be handled through the courts. probably with little effort.
Gary, is that our place to do that though, or is
That's
that
what
a
I'm getting
building
at.
department issue?
Yeah, do we have the power to do that, Gary? We don't know that.
I think that's a building department issue to enforce the ordinances.
Yeah, I don't think we have that power.
Right.
Because that has to go, that only comes when you apply for a permit.
Right. So I would say it needs to be held through administratively through the building department.
You know, and actually, technically, I've been corrected on this a couple times. We're really not even supposed to be giving advice, which we're doing.
Right.
Right.
The building inspector is here, and so he would.
Yeah.
We're not going over his head. He's right here listening.
Right.
So, okay, well, I mean, obviously I'd like to see some kind of time frame on it, but I just wanted to see if we had the right to do that. And to me, it doesn't matter what the time frame was. I just want to make sure that it gets handled and it doesn't, you know, sit around for years.
20 years.
20 years sit around?
Correct. Correct. And then, you know, you guys, when we get back together, maybe we join the planning meeting together, we might have to address some of these issues that we have coming up. And, you know, I feel bad for people that are buying properties and thinking that they can rehab something that maybe is not even legal to be standing. So, okay, so
best advice.
We're all in favor of this.
See the building
Gary,
department.
Thank you so much on helping this. I'm sorry I did not write the names down for the people at Lake Drive, but we have denied your request. So please see Gary for your future endeavors on that property. Okay. And then Bonnie, tell me when you're ready to join the.
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm disheveled here.
He's disheveled.
Uh-oh. I totally flipped it upside down.
What, your packet?
Yeah, I went through. I'm trying to find the next case.
Oh, okay. Can we talk about that?
Where are you doing to go?
Found it.
Got it?
Okay. So we're going to start the next one.
Can we
Jay.
clock off? Excuse me,
Yes.
are we allowed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Sorry.
Okay.
So we're going to go to JZBA
How do we get off, honey?
2020-00.
Bottom right, there should be an end. Okay.
Oh, on the right, I said, oh, leave. Here we go.
Okay.
The bottom,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The
So ZBA 2020-009 at 7842 Stark. Is the representative for Stark address present? Or anyone wish to speak on this
Tim,
address?
if that's you, you're muted.
Tell him to push the button, push the mute.
Tim, oh, there you go.
Okay, how's that?
Now we can hear you.
All right. Basically, I'm going for a variance for, it's like 4.83 feet on the side of property. It's a non-conforming lot. And it's kind of, because it's on an angle, I can't meet the 5 foot. And then the other one's the coverage on the lot coverage is at 37% instead of 30%. Basically, we're trying to build a 1-story house. I have an older gentleman that doesn't want a set of stairs and stuff like that. So we're trying to like meet the requirements as close as we can. And that's only like 7% over, so I don't really see any problem with this, but you guys seem to come up with quite a few of them. So that's about all I can say.
Sue, did you get his name and address?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on this 7842 Stark address?
Yes, I would like to speak on that. So I'm Keith Stein, 7889 Stark Drive. TNT Construction is an exceptional construction company that has a stellar reputation in the neighborhood. They have built and rebuilt a few homes on Stark Drive, which has significantly increased the beauty of the street and the calm nature of living on the street. I strongly support anything they want to do on this lot.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this issue? I'd like to close public comment. So we're just dealing with a 40-foot lot. I mean, it's going to be real hard on a 40-foot lot. It's not conforming. What are we at, 50-foot, Gary, now for conforming lot minimum?
Yeah, minimum if it's deeded 50, but realistically, we're at 65.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. But this is a legal address. I mean, he's not doing anything out of the ordinary, correct?
That's correct.
So you guys, it's going to be real tight no matter what he puts on there. I don't see a problem with the benches.
I built on some 40-foot lots. Yes, they're tight.
Right.
I was going to say, I don't have any issue with the side setback. I think that is worthy of a variance. I guess my only question is the lot coverage, where I don't really see the practical difficulty there when the lot is 100 and almost 101 feet long. I mean, there's
But you got to take away the front and rear setbacks, Bonnie. Front and rear setbacks, you have to take about, you know.
Right, but I'm saying he could decrease the square footage of the house.
But there is a minimum square foot that we have to build too.
How many square feet is the proposed house then?
1,084.
Oh, it's 1,000.
Minimum. Yeah, 1,084. It's at the bare minimum.
Right, I understand that, but Mr. Charlin, what is the actual square footage of the house you're asking to build?
I'm sorry.
1,084.
Yeah, I'm reading it right here.
Oh, okay.
It's on this plan.
Right. So
I was just looking at it, trying to.
He can't go any smaller, and his lot coverage is already going to be packed. You know, even if he went to 1,000 square foot, he's not going to meet. So we have to, you know, not require him to build a smaller house.
I was down there the other day, and there are houses that are right next to it are like right on the line. You know.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's really tight down there.
Yeah. I mean, when you look down the canal, he's farther back than just about every other house on that canal.
Right.
You know, at 25 feet. There's other ones that are like 12 feet away. You know, so
I know. I've seen that.
Yeah. So I mean, he's done way good as far as the rear side setback. You know, he's maintained where the one where his 5.0 is now. That guy is right on the line. So that's a good thing, the 5.0 on that side. And the 4.3, I mean, we're only talking 7 inches. You know, it's, I don't know, I think.
Very minimal, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, our zoning, you know, against what Bonnie was pointing out, the 30%, and we're 37%. And like Brian said, we have to build a minimum of 1,000 square foot house, and 84 square feet minus is not going to change that 7% down to 30.
Right.
So at that point is mute. So I think that we should.
I don't really see a problem with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was going at this. Is that you know, practical difficulty. You know, the
lot size.
The lot size. Unique situation again is it's such a tight little spot. I mean, we only have 100 by 40.
Well, he's only asking for 1,084 square feet. He's asking for barely, you know, city minimum.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
If he builds anything else, it won't even fit on the lot.
Right.
Right.
So, I mean, I think we could probably do a motion to approve based on the lot size, the lot shape, and the zoning ordinance requirement for building size, and allow the variances requested.
Yes.
Support. Is that a motion?
Yeah, that was a motion.
Support.
That was part of a motion. All right, so we have a motion to approve and support. So let's have roll call, please.
Hold on, let me find my sheet. It's hard when they're all over my desk here.
I know, mine is all over.
All right. Harold Bain.
Yes.
Dennis Schmansky.
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Bonnie McInerney Slater, yes. Brian Treppa.
Yes.
All right.
So motion's great. So have fun building that new house. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bonnie, let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Should be.
Just take me a second.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we have unfinished business, ZBA 2020-007. We tabled it, but it's removed because the owner at 6211 Benoit has revised his plans. So that's it, okay? So do we have a report from the Planning Commission?
No, not really. I wasn't at the last planning meeting.
Okay. Any other matters to review?
I have a question.
Sure.
How are we going to get all these current amendments? You know, some of them, people have ones that are older, some people have new ones. Could she just give us all the amendments, or how do we approach that?
So what I'm going to do is I want my book and Gary's book to be exact.
Sure.
And then we'll make sure that everybody has exact from there. Because what I always get updates, and I thought everyone else got updates as well.
No, we don't get updates.
I've got them sometimes. My question, Gary, is the online updated regularly? Is that the most updated?
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
The online version of the zoning ordinance, is that updated regularly with amendments?
Yeah, it should be.
May I just interject something here? In the back of the code book, is there not a list of all the updated amendments or, you know, changes? Did
Yes.
you have that page?
Yes,
You have that. You have that, right, Brian?
It says, so it's page 32-3. And the last update is 6/17/19.
Right.
But Brian, can you verify with Cindy or whoever that the online version is updated also? Because that's actually where I go to quite often.
I was kind of embarrassed. That's why I wanted to make sure, you know, we all make the right, you know, but I will. Well, because when Dennis started reading, I could not find what he was reading, and that's, you know, I'm sure Gary and mine are right on the money, but
yeah, but I think we should get bulletins when we get new updated.
Absolutely.
I don't even get them. That's one of the problems. I'm on the planning commission and I don't even get them.
Okay. Well, I mean, now we exposed it, obviously, so you know, we'll definitely.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what the procedure should be then on that. There should be a procedure.
Let's make some heads roll.
Well.
Yeah, right. Well, I think Cindy, you know, I gotta see Cindy anyways, and I want to ask her, how come we don't? I mean, that should be either emailed to us when something's changed so we can update our books, because I'm with Ryan. We should have it.
Well, we cannot be making decisions when someone doesn't have the current updated.
Right.
Because Gary's going off the updated, and if we're 3 years behind Gary, you know, obviously we look bad. So
we're lacking.
I don't know if planning is supposed to get it. This is more for ZBA with all our, when we change something or interpret something.
But still, planning should get it because it's an ordinance that was changed and we changed it. Right?
Yeah, the planning is the one that's changed.
Not necessarily.
Why?
We don't change them, Joanne.
No, planning does.
Right. Yeah, we don't change. We don't change.
Right, you don't change them. You're going off our changes.
Correct.
And I don't even have the new changed ordinances.
As I say, I see where Harold's coming from, that everybody should get the updated, or the amendments.
I agree. But
it doesn't mean we're all going to get new books, though. You know what I mean?
No, I don't need a new book. I just
you
need
know,
to change it.
Save a couple trees here, right?
We
Well,
just
that's
need
what
to
I said.
change.
If everything online is updated, I'm good with that because I'd prefer to go online where it's searchable.
I will go online. You know, one, I want to make sure that Gary and I are right on the same, and then I'll ask Cindy to update paper-wise, you know, or make sure that the, you know, online is the most updated version.
Yeah, because I'd go online. It doesn't bother me to go online and copy them.
Yeah, but I like to have it paper because when we go to the meetings, you know, we can look at it. So.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so I'll handle that. I'll talk to Gary tomorrow or the next day and make sure, because Cindy's out of the office, I believe. So
he's on vacation.
Yeah, so I'll talk to her on Monday. Hopefully she's back and make sure all of us are on the same page. So is there any public comments?
Would that be new business?
No, it's public.
No, it's public comments.
On that particular subject, or
On anything.
On anything.
I have something about short-term rentals.
Who's speaking? Who's
This
speaking?
is Tom Purcell, 7882 Lake Drive. Question on short-term rentals.
Okay.
We've been
can answer it.
Yeah. Well, we've met with Artie Bryson. We've talked about it a while, and I had documentation. I sent a great big package in with also that 7775 thing that kind of like tied together, because we talked to Artie a year ago. 4 of us went down there and talked to him about grass cutting, sheds, condemned buildings, and short-term rentals. So that was a year ago. 4 of us who have yet to hear of anything.
All right. That's
send
out
them
of
some.
our, yeah, we will.
Okay,
we will,
I realize that. But what I'm saying is, we approached the head of the you know, the area, and if we weren't supposed to do that, where do we go?
Are you talking Airbnbs?
Yes. Short-term rentals. Yep.
Okay.
I believe those would be issues that the building department and code enforcement would have to look at.
Yeah,
because there is an ordinance on Airbnbs.
Right. I talked to Cindy about it, and then you know, 4 of our neighbors went down, and we had like a 2-hour meeting with Artie. I mean, if we weren't supposed to do that, then he could have said, no, you got to go over here or go over here. He could have pointed us in the right direction. So now it's been a year, and we don't know where nothing's going on. And if you look in the zoning
This was in
board,
January. You did it in January 7th, 2020.
Yeah, that was the letter, and that was referring to the meeting we had like last September or something, or in August, when we sat down and talked with him in his office. And so here we're thinking he's working on this some, and then we sent him a letter in January, and 2 of them, and he never said nothing. And anyway, we're just, you know, concerned. And then if this blue horseshoe thing goes on, and that's going to bring more of this stuff in the neighborhood. And if you look at the zoning ordinances, the only thing that is vaguely addresses this, and unless I'm looking at the thing, because my thing here says August 20th, 2007. That's the thing I downloaded on the website. So, you know, my thing's probably way out of date. So I'm going by this, and I might be blowing smoke. But the only thing that says anything about a remotely clear to a Airbnb around here is bed and breakfasts. And if you use that verbiage, what they got, they are not supposed to be in this neighborhood.
Okay, Gary?
Yes, sir.
Are you still on board?
Yes, sir.
Gary, I'm sorry, you know, and this isn't our position typically, but when we have a complaint, I would always make sure that he's at least heard. So is he okay to come into the office and talk to you or the
I didn't know how to get out of there. I didn't know how to close that.
I mean, I don't have a problem. I don't know the answer to that offhand. I'd have to research it, but
no, I don't mean that. I'm not expecting anyone to answer that question tonight.
Right.
But he does need direction. He needs to be able to go to somebody.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we have to answer his question regardless, whoever does answer his question and however long it might take. But Sir, I'll call Artie and just refresh his memory. I will not get involved because I don't know anything about it. But I'll just refresh Artie, and then maybe Artie will be advised with Gary, and hopefully, they'll get back to you shortly. I can't promise anything, but I will.
Yeah, I know you got the high water, you got the COVID, you got a lot of things here on your plate right now. I realize that, but it's been a year, almost 2 years, because I went down and fought my taxes 2 years ago, and I got 2 condemned homes next to me. I got long-term rentals, and I got 2 short-term rentals. And it's like a state park or a campground, and they're singing Kumbaya, and you got 4 bass boats with 8 guys there, and 4 pickup trucks with trailers on a little lot, and that's on Inglewood, so I know they're fed up with the traffic, and it's just not what R1 is supposed to be.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, any other public comments?
Yeah,
I'd like to close public comments. What are you doing, Harold?
Hello?
Jesus, that guy's loud.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, did you have public comment?
Yes. Lawrence Pronick, 7889 Lake Drive. I was wondering why we weren't notified about this garage, that there was going to be something at the meeting. We heard it through the grapevine that this thing was going to pass because there were so many neighbors for it. Why didn't the rest of the residents of Lake Drive hear about this so we could have more support for this meeting?
Are you directly next to it?
No, I'm not.
And every month, every meeting gets published publicly. I'm sorry that we don't invite each and every one down the street. But
and the law is 300 feet.
Other neighbors that
okay.
All
right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've been here since 1966 on Lake Drive.
Awesome.
So we've seen a lot of problems on this street, and we just like to make sure they get corrected rather than keep going the wrong way. Thank you.
Hopefully we helped you tonight. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Could you repeat his name? Could he repeat his name, Brian, please? I did not catch his name.
Yes.
Is he still on? Can you state your name and your address one more time for us, please?
Lawrence, Lawrence, Pronick, Pronek.
Thank you.
7889 Lake Drive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else for public comments? Okay, I'd like to close public comments. Up to one of you guys.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Dog second.
Apparently my dog agreed.
Dog seconded.
All right, all in favor?
I would like to make one thing.
Yep.
Thank you, Gary, for coming to our meeting.
Yeah, thanks, Gary.
Very helpful. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Whenever you
Gary.
need me, give me a call and let me know you need me.
Appreciate
Gary.
that very much.
Thanks, Gary.
One other thing, Gary.
Uh-huh.
I know this was the first one we got you on, but when you're put on the spot, you never have to answer that question if you don't know it 100%. You know what I mean? So, and like that gentleman wanted information, and you know what I mean? I would never expect you to know it to this point. It's very helpful that you knew a lot of the information that we were asking you. But regardless, if we ever put you on the spot like that, don't feel like, you got to read the whole book and know it by heart. So it's hard for all of us too.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I appreciate it, though. That was a big help. So good luck with your next couple days with a couple of those. Sorry about that. Have fun with that, but appreciate everything. And then hopefully I'll see you, Gary, if we can meet maybe tomorrow or Monday when Cindy's back in the office and get all the paperwork straightened. That would help all.
Yeah, Cindy's not until Monday, Mr. Petrepa, but I am in. I think I've got 3 meetings lined up tomorrow, 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. So if you wanted to swing in, if you were available sometime around that, maybe shortly after 11, I could meet with you then.
It's just, I mean, if the 3 of us are together, because Cindy's the one, I hate to say it, but she's the one that's going to do all the legwork for us on it. So, versus redoing it, I don't want to waste your time by just you and I meeting. I'd love to meet you on other issues, but when Cindy's back in town, maybe I'll set a meeting. The three of us can meet real quick and make sure that all of our paperwork for everybody before the next meeting is all perfect.
Eric, when does she come back?
Monday.
Yeah, so I'll call her Monday morning and then see what your schedule is going to be like, and maybe Monday or Tuesday we'll meet at night, get in. So it'll be short and sweet.
All right.
But please, think about what that guy was saying about those air whatever, because that problem doesn't look like that's going to go away. So hopefully between you and
Airbnbs.
I think the Airbnbs are going to get a lot worse.
Yep. So I just don't want a problem to go away, because if it goes away, it comes back twice as big, So
I'm just not so sure that we have an ordinance that prohibits them or allows them. Our ordinance may be silent in that regard.
So
it may be because
that goes to the planning. Then we'll have to make something up. I mean, not make something up, but we'll have to make something advisable, pro or against that. You know what I mean? Or they have to abide by some kind of rules.
I will tell you, I've had this discussion with Rod a couple of times with regard to my job, and they do have some sample ordinances that they can get to the planning commission.
Well, that was one of the things we were looking up prior to COVID, was Airbnbs, because there's a lot of them popping up on the island. And that was one of the questions that we were coming up with before, because I know, and Gary's right, the ordinances, they're really very vague. Very
well,
vague.
We do have a tourist area. I mean, this is a destination, and there is really no place to stay around here.
Yeah, but
I'm not against it.
But it needs to be controlled, because it can get out of hand. Because I know a couple of them that are on the island, and I know one that's down Gore Street that I've seen 10, 15 cars there parked up and all down the street, and I know that's an Airbnb.
It's not fair for a commercial building to be renovated and have to go through a whole bunch of zoning differences and come up to code, and then somebody can just lease their house out and then violate too many people.
I agree with you, Brian.
Yeah, we have
right now in New Baltimore, they're required to at least have a rental inspection and be a registered rental.
There you go. That's a
that might be something to look at. I mean, I don't know why we don't have a rental inspection in Clay Township, because we do have a few rentals.
I think this has been a very productive meeting. I think we should have more like this.
Well, it's nice that we got planners, you guys are on the board, but it's just situations that, if we are going to continue to develop, we're going to have to be, up to stuff. And
right.
See, that's one of the things that I get from this meeting here, because this guy would have never came to planning and said anything about Airbnbs, but he's getting it here. See, this is the input that we don't get from the people when they come. They don't even come to the planning meetings.
They don't even come to township board meetings. They don't come to ZBA meetings unless they want something.
Well, I know for the last week that these bass boat fishermen, and they bring big money to the area, are acing up and down all over the place. And they bring a lot of money to this area, a lot. And I think we ought to really take a hard look at that. Because if we poo-poo that, then you're cutting off tourism too.
Well, I'll tell you what, go on the internet. Go on the internet and it tells you how many Airbnbs are on Harson's Island.
Right.
You can
I think
fish
to a certain extent we're getting off topic, because this was not on our agenda.
Let's motion to adjourn.
Right.
Already had that.
All right, guys.
Go.
Thank you so much.
I think Bonnie's dog agreed to that.
Oh yeah.
All right, bye guys.
Right
All right,
All right.
Bye.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.
See you
Thank
later.
you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bonnie's dog.